Auditor's responsibility in relation to fraud then. होता है. Okay, now listen. Oi. Now, first question. Is it the responsibility of the auditor to detect and prevent frauds and errors? It is. Primary or secondary? Sorry. Correct. Can I say it is secondary? Primary of management. Correct. Secondary of the auditor. If you people remember, as far as the objectives of audit were concerned, which we had done in the first chapter, which you are not revising, even after me telling you so many times, basically there are two objectives. One is primary, other was secondary. If you remember, primary was to form and express an opinion on the financial statements, whether they are showing a true and fair view or not. Secondary objective of the auditor was detection and prevention of frauds and errors. Agreed? So ultimately, can I say definitely it is the objective of the auditor to detect and prevent frauds and errors. But it's the secondary objective. Since it's the secondary for the auditor, it is the primary of the management. But management will not come alone. Can I say along with management, there'll be top level management, which is known as TCWG. So can I say the primary responsibility to reduce the frauds and errors is of the management and TCWG. And that they will basically carry out by setting up the control system, which is known as correct internal control system. So secondary of the correct auditor, but primary of the management. All cool? All cool. Okay. Doubts. Think and answer. So obviously the auditor is also going to try to detect and prevent the frauds and errors. Will he be able to detect everything? No. Can I say obviously there is a detection risk that whatever you people try to detect, how much ever so procedures you people try to perform, eventually 100% of the frauds and errors will be detected or will not be detected? Will not be detected. Then another doubt. For the frauds which are not detected, here to the question carefully, huh? For the frauds which are not detected, can you tell me who will be responsible? For the frauds which are not detected, can you tell me who will be responsible? Management or auditor? Correct. Can I say for the frauds which are not detected, who will be responsible is management? Correct. Always remember, by default, who is always responsible is the management. Acha, can the auditor be responsible? Yes. When? Only in one situation. Correct. Only when the auditor is negligent. See, it means only if the management can prove that auditor was negligent in performing his duties, only then in that case you can hold the auditor responsible. Else by default, will the auditor be held responsible? No. So if the auditor can prove through his documentation, through his working papers to the court of law that see, I was doing nothing but the audit properly, only see my documents, ultimately now to you rely, no? Now to you believe me, no? So in such a scenario, if then they believe you according to your documentation that okay, you were actually performing the audit as it was required to be performed, you will not be held responsible. But yes, if your documentations lack, if it is not able to prove that you did audit properly, then in that scenario, who can be held responsible is the auditor. All cool? Okay. So by default, who is responsible is management. Auditor can be responsible only if he is negligent. Now, obviously, when you people talk about this particular chapter, auditor's responsibility in relation to fraud, one standard on auditing is covered here. It is SA 240. So once we people finish this particular chapter, what we will also finish along with that is which essay? Essay 240. Just like when we did auditor's report. I hope guys we finished 5 standards there if you remember. 700, 705, 706, 701, 710 is still left. That we will see later because that's a left standard. All cool? Okay. Now listen. Firstly, I hope realize here you are basically talking about a fraud. My simple question: what is fraud? Is also known in other words. Known. Misstatement. Correct. See, if you people appreciate when I say misstatement, can I say misstatement are two things? Either it can be fraud or it can be error. Now, when you people write something wrong intentionally, then it becomes a fraud. But when you write something wrong unintentionally, then it becomes an error. So, can I say fraud is correct? Intentional. Error is unintentional. Can I say there is a difference? Yes. Think and answer. Why will you do fraud? Why will you do something wrong? Essay, time pass, jobless, what to do? So we are learning all frauds. So that ultimately we can utilize that time. What to do other than that? To hide something. No. To hide something you do fraud. That's a weird thing that I've ever heard here, to hide something. So now some of them who are hiding the faces, who do not show their faces, so they are doing fraud, no? To gain something. Exactly. I hope realize, can I say basically to gain some undue advantage, not a due advantage. So basically unfair advantage, you may also say so. So ultimately, can I say it is an intentional act? Can I say to deceive somebody? What is deceive? Cheat. Obviously, you know, yeah. Ah, experience. So ultimately, I hope, rise, it is to deceive somebody. Can I say for nothing but undue benefit, or you can say unfair benefit? So, acha, have I told this? No, no. It is a definition. So, fraud is basically nothing but an intentional act. It is done in order to deceive somebody and in order to obtain unjust, or you can say unfair advantage or benefit. All cools? All cools. Now, at least having known that, okay, fraud is intentional, error is unintentional. Now, what we need to know are the different types of frauds and different types of errors. Firstly, different types of errors. Hey, this is not new to you, yeah. You already know, yeah. Come on, different types of errors. Correct. I'll just start. See, then if it comes to your head, there is something like error of omission. What do you mean by this? Correct. Can I say transaction has been omitted from the books of accounts? So ultimately, if the transaction has been omitted from the books of accounts, we say it is error of omission. Come on, next. Error of commission. See, I'm telling you, now, I give you one, you'll give me another. What do you mean by error of commission? Can I say error of commission is wrong recording of transactions? For a simple example, say in the P&L, there is an expense of 360. But say by mistake, you people wrote as 630. I told by mistake. So it is an error. But you did not write it properly. Then this becomes error of commission, wrongly recording the transaction. All cool? Okay. Apart from that, if you people appreciate, correct, there is something known as compensating errors. What do you mean by compensating errors? Yeah. Can I say correct? Compensating errors are two or more errors, which compensate each other. For a simple example, say in the PNL, by mistake I overvalued sales by 1,000. Here I also overvalued purchases by 1,000. Can I say eventually one error is compensating for the other? Just like ultimately I hope realize it happens no in CA exams also. One subject compensates for the other. I hope realize you are exactly. I hope realize in one subject you may get very less, but the other subject has nothing but compensation power. So other subject will compensate for that lesser marks there. So compensation. So one error compensates for the other. Now do you understand? At the end, something will tally. Perfect. Are balance sheet. Has your balance sheet ever tallied? No, some people are telling us so rude. Yeah. See, balance sheet should always tally. You understood what I'm trying to tell? Balance sheet should always tally, whether it tallies in reality or not. Supposing you are giving an exam, okay? Obviously, you will not know. No. When ultimately you make a balance sheet, supposing when you take totals, say they don't tally, no problem. Take the asset side, same write the same amount on the liability side, because the problem basically is on the liability side that it does not tally. If in exam this situation comes, this is a hack which you can use. You can just take this amount, whatever comes on the asset side, write the same amount here, although it does not tally. Let the examiner find out what is not telling, where you want bothered. Let him at least see, it is to telling for him. Then let him find, you don't do anything. Most of the times what happens is, by oversight it goes along. most of the times. Now obviously that depends on luck factor, no, again, obviously you are giving the paper, so yeah. But it really works. Okay, so ultimately whatever it may be, even if they don't tally, still your answer when I see the paper, it should tally. So ultimately the first look of your balance sheet should be, oh, telling, like that. See, I'm not teaching fraud. So rude, yeah. You think this is fraud? No, yeah. It is just like error of omission. Something got missed. Now listen. Huh? Lastly, do know it's nice. Error of principle. Now, what do you mean by error of principle? Correct. Can I say error? Sama, like you have tried? No. My balance sheet used to tally. Okay. Don't be rude. Huh. Sometimes you know what happened. In fact, in the examination, CA final, I remember consolidation, 16 marks question. Okay. Question number 2. I attempted it very last. I was like, consolidation, it's a tough chapter. I'll do at the last. So then I left it for the last and I did everything. Wrap up, wrap up, wrap up. My mind was like working. Wrap up, wrap up. At the end, balance sheet tallied. When it tallied, I got so shocked. I was like, how can it tally? Because in consolidation, it is so difficult. Matlab, it takes time as such to tally, but it tallied in the first shot. I was like, wow, let it go. I was then, when it tallies, then again you have a doubt whether it is the right amount at which it is tallying. Now you are just not satisfied as a human. Firstly, your problem is you want to tally. Okay, that's a problem. So sometimes it does not tally. So that's a problem. Now it tallied. So now the next problem is it telling at the right amount? Are all problems you have. So if it tallies, now leave it. Whatever it is, it may be correct. But then, yeah, it was so nice. It tallied in the first shot. Yeah, I was also shocked. Yeah, how come it happened? I likes. But that is the only balance sheet to be tallied properly. Apart from that, everything was very difficult. Yeah, yeah, but that was the only thing. It happens. Yeah, that's exam. No, you will tally everything. I hope. Yeah, yeah, you can. Now focus. I gave. You have to give. Okay. Now listen. When you talk about error of principle, tell me what is the meaning of error of principle? Yeah, correct. Can I say no proper distinction between capital and revenue? Perfect. For a simple example, say you purchased a fixed assets. Where should you record? Dash in the balance sheet because it's a capital expense. But say by mistake you charge it to the P&L. Now use common sense. Can I say it was capital, but you treat it as revenue? So there is no proper distinction between capital and revenue. Then correct. That is known as error of principle. So how many are there? Come on. 4. Come on, tells me. First, error of omission, error of commission, then compensating errors, then principle. All cools? All cools. Come on. This was types of errors. Now we have to know types of frauds. Now listen. Basically, frauds are of two types. Frauds may either happen at the higher level or they may happen at the low level. Opposite. Some people are telling middle level. Arey, what level you have? So either it is at the higher level or it is at the lower level. Middle. Without middle, there is nothing in life. Higher and lower also can be there, no? There is only one thing which is there in middle class. That's it. Now shut up and pay attention. Middle you want. Now listen what I was telling. I forgot. You diverted my mind. So ultimately, I hope they are of two types. One is higher level, other is lower level. Now use common sense here. Higher level, can you tell me who will commit the fraud? Correct. Can I say at higher level, the fraud will be done by the management? Or basically, can I say top level management known as TCWG? Do you agree? Okay. Can you tell me lower level who will do? Come on, yeah. Perfect. Not bad, yeah. Can I say at the lower level who will do the fraud are employees? In other words, can I say staff? What? Staff. So lower level employees or staff. When you talk about higher level management, can you tell me what type of a fraud will they do? Higher level, what will they do? Yeah? What do you think? What will the top level management do? Correct. Can I say basically what they will do is manipulate the financial statements? Can I say they can overvalue something, undervalue something? They will cook the financial statements. So basically, I hope guys, they are the one who are responsible to make the financial statements. No. So can I say basically what they will do is manipulation of the financial statements. Use common sense. Will the lower level employees manipulate financial statements? No. I hope as they will do smaller type of frauds. Can you tell me what will they do? Correct. Can I say basically I hope realize they will do some type of stealing? Yeah. For a simple example, ultimately I hope is theft, theft of cash, theft of nothing but say stock, yeah, stationery. So rude, yeah. Don't talk to me, yeah. I told you stationery in good faith, yeah. Acha. So can I say basically what they will do is nothing but misappropriation. What? Misappropriation of what? Correct. Misappropriation of assets. They will take away some stock, they will take away some cash, which anyways belongs in excess to the company. It was not used. So I thought stationery is better, I will use it. Hence I took. Okay. I have justifications. Huh. Can you give me some example of a higher level fraud? Anybody who can think about how to manipulate financial statements? Okay. Window dressing, Satyam, fair enough. You cannot write example, Satyam. Example is I'm asking of a fraud. Okay. Revalued the asset, overvaluation of assets, perfect. Inflating, perfect. Not showing the receipts, perfect. Correct. Fair enough. It means, wait, can I say there is something like window dressing? Come on, here, ever heard? What is window dressing? It is showing a better financial position than actual. In other words, you know what is happening? You are doing makeup of financial statements. See, why do you do makeup? To look more better than you actually are. That is why people do makeup, because if you remove them, then you will, oh my god, you will get a shock of life. So ultimately I hope they do makeup. So ultimately in in that scenario, window dressing is makeup of financial statements. So you want to make the financial statements look good when they are actually very bad. That is known as window dressing. Don't worry, there is a separate question after this which we are going to take up, which is on window dressing, which we will see. As of now, understand, window dressing is what? It is manipulating the financial statements, which is done by the management of TCWG, which happens at the higher level, and therefore it is an example of a higher level fraud. All cools? Acha. You know what is opposite of window dressing? Anybody? Door dressing. This is the best that you could come out with. Yeah. Door dressing in the morning, 7 o'clock. You're telling me like this. Door dressing. Huh? Undressing. Ayo, what has happened to you? Yeah. Like this, you will tell opposites. Window dressing, then door undressing. It seems. Yeah. It's okay. I'll tell. My bad. I asked you. My problems. Let me tell. Listen. It is not undressing, door, etc. I'll tell you what it is. It is secret reserve. What, yeah? You have never heard, yeah? Secret reserve, yeah? How come, yeah? See, what is window dressing? It was making up the financial statements. So you are trying to make the financial statements look good when they are bad. Secret reserve is reverse. You are trying to make the financial statements look bad. Actually, they may be good. Correct. Why to do like that? Don't worry. All that I will tell you later. Because now only after this, there is a separate question on that. But as of now, understand what? Secret reserve is this. But this is done by them. But they are here. Therefore, that is there. Now, do you understand? So, two examples you remember. One is window dressing. Another is secret reserve. Okay. Talking about lower level. Come on. Can you give me an example? This is very simple, yeah? Correct. Can I say basically you can say defalcation of cash. Apart from that, you can say theft of stock. I hope right, these are the two main things. Apart from that, there is something like teaming and leading. Uh, 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 uh. Teaming and leading. Don't worry. What is teaming and leading? That I will tell you later. There is an independent question on that also. But as of now, understand teaming and leading is this. But this is done by them. But they are here. Therefore, that is there. Come on, tell me. Different types of frauds. Come on. First, it may either happen at the high level or it may happen at the lower level. High level, who will do? Management or TCWG. Lower level, who will do? Employees or staff. Okay. What will the management do? Manipulate the financial statements. What will the staff do? Misappropriation of assets. What are the manipulation of financial statement? Example: window dressing, secret reserve. Example of misappropriation of assets? Correct. Defalcation of cash, theft of stock, teaming and leading. All cools? All cools. Okay. Now listen. Just a while back I told to you, what do you mean by window dressing? What do you mean by secret reserve? I'll tell you later. That later is now. Correct. So now we need to understand what is the difference between. Can you tell me what and what? Window dressing, secret reserve. Now let's go one by one. Listen carefully. What is window dressing? Can I say it is showing a correct? Can I say better financial position than actual? Do you agree? In other words, listen. Don't write anything, huh? Later on, I'll give you time to copy, etc. I have made proper notes for it. Don't worry. Just focus as of now. Understand. Relax. That is what you do after all. So, window dressing is basically showing a better financial position than actual. What do you mean by that? Very simple. Currently, the situation is worst. The financial statements are worst, but you want to make them look the best. So when you people change from worst to best, that is known as window dressing. So what is window dressing? Correct. Worst to best. Come on the opposite side. Secret reserve. What is secret reserve? If this is better financial position than actual, so what will it now be? Correct. You are showing worst financial position than actual. In other words, can you tell me if this is worst to best, this will be best to worst. It means, can I say currently the situation is best, but you want to show the worst. So when you people do best to worst, that is known as secret reserve. So window dressing is worst to best. Secret reserve is best to worst. Now, sometimes in the examination, students get confused. Worst to best, best to worst, where, what, come, here, there, no idea, oh, confusion. Very simple. Window dressing starts with W. So you also start with W. See, WW. So rude, yeah, you are. It was nice, okay? Tell me window dressing. What is it? How do you remember dash? So, WW. See, you want to remember, but you don't want to accept the fact that you remember it like that. Huh? So it is WW. Worst to best. Acha. Next question. Think, how to do it? Can I say you will have to manipulate financial statements? How to do it? Can I say you will have to manipulate the financial statements? Come on, yeah. Okay. Now, when I say you have to manipulate the financial statements, basically, can I say P&L, balance sheet, P&L, balance sheet. Do you agree? Come on. Now, tells me, you want to show the best position, whereas currently it is the worst position. Then how do you show the best in the P&L? Come on, tell me. Correct. Can I say in the P&L I'll show more profitability? How will I do that? How will it be possible for me to do that? Can I say correct? I will lower the debit side, increase the credit side. So can I say like this? Here there will be increase in sales or income. Or you can say there'll be decrease in the purchases or expenses. Come on, yeah. Because when I do this, obviously my net profit will increase. This is what I want to show at the end of the day. Acha, balance sheet. Can you tell me what will you do? Correct. Can I say in the balance sheet, you want to show better position. So whatever were your assets, can I say that you will overvalue? Or what you may do is your liabilities you may undervalue. So can I say here there will be overvaluation of assets and here there will be undervaluation of liabilities. Now do you understand? Asha, what about secret reserve? Opposites, exactly. I hope as here you want to show reverse, no? You want to show the worst position, no? So you don't want to show too much profitability. So ultimately, can I say credit side will be lesser now? So can I say here there will be decrease in the sales or income? Here there will be increase in the purchases or expenses. So your net profit eventually comes down. Do you agree? Acha. On the other hand, what about balance sheet? Correct. Can I say here there will be undervaluing the assets, overvaluing the liabilities? All cool? All cool. But remember one thing, huh? Why ultimately what we are doing this? Can I say eventually everything here is fake? Why? Arey, it's a fraud, no? If it was real, why it would have been a fraud? What you are doing, overvaluation, undervaluation, everything here. Can I say what you are doing is to achieve something? So obviously, what you are doing is nothing but fake. It's a fraud. All cool? Acha. Now the important question. This is how you do it, which is very simple. My question to you is why to do it? Think. Why will the companies be doing window dressing? Yeah. What is the reason? Yeah, for window dressing? Correct. Can I say in order to attract investors? Array, if you people basically want investment, I hope realize then eventually investors will come for worst company. No, no. So ultimately, can I say obviously you people in order to attract investors will do window dressing. One more. Anybody? Correct. Can I say in order to obtain loans? Lovely. Array, for a simple example, you want to take a loan from a bank. Will bank give the loan on face value? Look at you. No. So eventually, can I say the bank will check the financial position? Obviously the bank, if they check the worst financial position, will they give the loan? No. So ultimately, if you people want to take a loan, then I hope as it is better to do window dressing and obtain that loan. Agreed? One more, see if you understand this, huh? Listen, sometimes the managerial remuneration means the money which goes to the top level management depends on the amount of the net profits. Higher the net profits, more the remuneration which goes to them. So there is a link between their remuneration and net profits. Obviously, then the management will want more remuneration. No? So to get more remuneration, they may show more profits. So eventually they can get more money out of that. You are following what I'm telling? This is actually what happens in real life. They show more amount of profits, not for a reason that company is doing beautiful. No. So that ultimately I hope as they manipulate and get more extraction from the company. Now do you understand? Okay. So basically why is this done? Simple reasons will keep. I hope as this is done in order to obtain loans, in order to nothing but attract investment. Okay. Can you tell me why to do secret reserve then? Why to do secret? Why to show a worse position? Yeah. Correct. Saving tax is a wrong word, mad. You should not use save tax. Evade tax. See, that is where the problem lies. You don't understand English. Saving tax is legal. Evasion of tax is illegal. I can save my tax by planning my tax. There is something like tax planning, no? I hope guys there is a schedule where ultimately you can claim deductions, so you can reduce your tax liability. So that is tax planning. Hello, that tax planning is legal. So ultimately I hope realize that is saving tax. Here you're not trying to save tax. Here you are trying to not pay the tax. That is known as evade tax. Can I say lesser the net profit, lesser the tax? So the prime reason why this is done is tax evasion. Perfect. Come on here. Something other than this. Come on, come on. For saving dividend payment. Perfect. In fact, array, again, for evading dividend payment. See, shareholders have to be paid dividend. Now say you don't want to pay them currently. If you don't want to pay them currently, show there is no profits, no enough. So ultimately we are unable to pay you the dividend. So it can be definitely done for non-payment of dividend. Do you agree? Acha, apart from that, any other non-payment that you can think about? Perfect. Bonus to employees. Lovely. What if I tell you that eventually the employees also have to be paid increase in the salaries and wages, bonuses? But say you don't want to give them an increase in the current year. You're like, we'll save that money. So ultimately, then you can show lesser net profit and you can tell to them your bonus was linked to profit. Ultimately, you have not earned that much now. So ultimately, we will not be able to give you that much amount of profits. Will not be able to give you that much amount of bonuses. Sorry. Thanks for coming. So ultimately, can I say it is for non-payment of bonus to employees? Come on, yeah. So simple. Acha. Now listen. Oi. Whether you do window dressing or whether you do secret reserve, eventually so it is fraud only, no? Now, if eventually it is fraud, can I say, obviously, it becomes a duty of the auditor to report. See, that we have learnt, we have learnt in company audit, if you remember. Under CARO, auditor has to report any fraud on or by the company. Then the amount and the nature of the fraud has to be reported. Now, the nature of the fraud, you people are learning slowly and steadily. Nature can be window dressing, nature can be secret reserve, it can be defalcation of cash, it can be theft of stock, it can be teaming and lading. So that nature of the fraud has to be reported and the amount of the fraud has to be reported. Also, if you people remember, if the fraud is greater than 1 crore individually, greater than equal to, then you have to report also to the correct central government. Inform ADT 4. Come on, yeah. So, can I say whether it is window dressing or whether it is secret reserve? Eventually, it is a fraud, and therefore it becomes a duty of the auditor to basically report. All cools? All cools. Come on, tell me up till now whatever we have done. Okay, then we people will make a note of it. Come on. Firstly, when you people talk about nothing but misstatement, it is two things: frauds and errors. Fraud is intentional, error is unintentional. You do intentionally to deceive somebody to get nothing but undue advantage, unfair advantage, benefit. Thereafter, different types of errors. How many? Four basically. What? Omission, commission, compensating, principal. Okay, omission, transaction has been omitted from the books of accounts. Acha, commission, correct, wrong recording of transaction, so it has been wrongly recorded. Thereafter, compensating, two or more errors which compensate each other, so at the end trial balance will tally. And lastly, error of principle, where ultimately no proper distinction between capital and revenue. Thereafter, different types of frauds, this is important, it may happen at the high level or at the lower level. Higher level, management or TCWG; lower level, employees or staff. Management or TCWG, what will they do? Correct. They will do manipulation of the financial statements. What will the low level do? Misappropriation of assets. Give me examples of financial statements manipulation: window dressing, secret reserve. Examples of lower level: defalcation of cash, theft of stock, teaming and lading. Teaming and lading is still left. We'll see later. Don't worry. Thereafter, window dressing, secret reserve. Window dressing, you show a better financial position than actual, so it is worst to best. Secret reserve is reverse, so it is best to worst. How do you do it? You show overvaluing the sales, incomes, assets, undervaluing the purchase, expense, liabilities. There it is opposite. You undervalue the sales, income and assets. You overvalue the purchases, or you overvalue the purchases, expenses and liabilities. Why do you do them? Window dressing is done basically in order to obtain loans, attract investors, or sometimes the managerial remuneration is linked to the profit. So eventually the managers, the TCWGs will like to do that. On the other hand, why do you do secret reserve? For tax evasion, non-payment of dividend or non-payment of bonus to employees. And eventually both of them are nothing but frauds. Since they are frauds, it is the duty of the auditor to report such frauds. All cool? Acha. And can I say auditor is responsible for any fraud which he has not detected? No. I hope realize who is responsible is the management. Auditor will be held responsible only if he is negligent. If the auditor can prove with his documentation that okay, auditor had done audit as it was required to be done, then he cannot be held responsible. All cools? Okay. Textbook. Hmm. Auditor's responsibility in relation to fraud, which is your chapter 5. Come here. Page number 166 then. Hmm. Firstly, there is meaning and characteristic of the fraud. Meaning is given by SA 240. So SA 240, auditor's responsibility in relation to fraud in an audit of financial statements, defines the term fraud as what? An intentional act by one or more individuals among the management, TCWG, employees, or third parties involving the use of deception, cheating. Rahul is a cheater, Rahul is a cheater, like that. Cheating to obtain unjust or illegal advantage, unfair benefit. Dania. Acha. By the way, this what we have done now, this higher level fraud, that they will manipulate the financial statements. This is also in other words known as making fraudulent financial reporting. Financial reporting is what? Accounts, which I told you in the first lecture when I did inherent limitations of auditing. Fact. FR is what? Accounts. So basically, when I say fraudulent financial reporting, fraudulent accounts. So fraudulent account is manipulating accounts. So whether I say manipulation of financial statements or whether I say making fraudulent financial reporting, meaning is one and the same. Huh. Okay. So see, then the auditor is concerned about the fraud that causes a material misstatement in the financial statements. There are two types of intentional misstatements, in other words, frauds, which are relevant to the auditor. One, misstatements resulting from fraudulent financial reporting, and second, misappropriation of assets. Can I say when I say fraudulent financial reporting, what is that? Correct. It is manipulating financial statements. And misappropriation of assets, you already know. Can I say that is correct? Low level fraud. So basically, can I say they have given you types of frauds? One is fraudulent financial reporting, which is high level fraud. Another is misappropriation of assets, which is low level fraud. What is fraudulent financial reporting? It means manipulating, as I told to you, the operating results and the financial statements. It is perpetrated done by the management because obviously they are at the high level. Can I say if you know this, no, you easily know that. Don't worry, this we'll see in the we'll make a note of it. Don't worry. I have an entire note for that also. Where is it? It is somewhere here only, chapter 5. See? So nicely I have written here. See? So beautifully. I know. Now shut up and mark. Acha, it is achieved how? Manipulating, falsification, alteration, misrepresentation, intentional omission, intentional misapplication of accounting principles. So they are telling how it is done. We already know how it is done. Basically, I hope realize. Can I say by window dressing, secret reserve? So how it is done? Can I say by these things only? So you're altering results only, no? Overvaluing the sales, undervaluing the sales, all this only, no? Acha. Thereafter, misappropriation of assets. Obviously, that is a low level fraud. It involves what? It involves theft, yeah, of what? Entities' assets, and is often perpetrated, that is done by the employees in a relatively small and immaterial amounts. I took some part of the stationery. I did not take the company. Just for those few files and folders, you are really telling me I committed a fraud. Yeah, that's true. You have never done anything, yeah, in real life, such type of theft. Oh, you have not. Okay. Now suddenly it seems to be a big fraud there that I did. You have not taken anything ever in life, yeah. You have not done theft of anything in life. Don't be so untrue, yeah. You must have done something, yeah. Chewing gum. You did theft of chewing gum. Or you took a chalk piece from school. The chalk pieces were nice, huh? Really, that was real fun, yeah. See, you know fraud from so young age, tender age. Exactly, and you are continuing after you become a chartered accountant, correct? See, I mean, chalk. Then nice. Have a look. Misappropriation of assets can be accomplished in various ways. Accomplished. See how they are using the words also, as if it is some mission to do the fraud. Mission accomplished, it seems, in a variety of ways, including embezzling receipts. Any money which comes in, you people embezzle, you take it away. Stealing physical assets, so you already know that, or intellectual property. Causing entity to pay for the goods and services which are not received, and using entities' assets for personal use. So ultimately, I hope as if there is a car and there is a driver, and I hope as ultimately the driver wants to go on around with somebody, and ultimately he takes the entity's car and goes for a round. Then ultimately that is using entity's asset for personal use. I hope you follows. I always used to do that when I was in articleship. in articleship, you know, I always, I told you, I like love stationery and stuff. I love printing. So ultimately, I hope rise, printing, I really love. So I used to make my timetable, inter CA timetable, final CA timetable, and that timetable I used to make in Excel sheet. Obviously, that timetable I want it on paper. I don't wanted the timetable to be just in the laptop. Okay. And at that point from I did not own a laptop myself personally. So the only laptop that I had and the only computer which I had was at articleship at my boss's office. So then we used to go there when I used to do articleship, and when there was some free time, etc., I used to make my timetable on that laptop. And then I was like, yeah, Abhi, printer is staying idle. There's nothing to be printed. No audit reports are left out. So I was like, I'll print my timetable only there. So ultimately, I used to print my timetable. Two copies I used to take out. All that time pass I used to do. So it is using the entity's assets for personal use. But actually, it was professional use. Yeah, it came handy. No timetable. You should also make subject wise, chapter from where you are going to do, JKSE material, revision test papers, mock test papers, suggested answers. Then all the columns should be there. Then with a pencil, then whenever you do, you put a tick, you put a cross. Start date, expected end date. It is fun here to make timetables. No? Okay. Next, you should make, yeah. Only then your portion will get finished. Yeah. I don't know. I still have, yeah. I really doubt. I mean, that computer is there at my boss's office. Secondly, those papers, I don't know where they must be. Yeah. I have those question papers. I don't know the timetable. If I find, I'll show you once. This is what I made. I'll try to find it. Let's see. Acha. Thereafter, auditor's responsibility in relation to fraud. Acha. Before even I go to explaining you this part, auditor's responsibility, first you answer. Two types I told you, higher level, lower level. Now you are the auditor. Okay. Can I say you have to detect and prevent? So my simple question, what is more difficult for you to detect? Higher level fraud or a lower level fraud? Come on here, common sense. High level. It is because I hope realize, can I say higher level fraud is basically what? Manipulating financial statements. Can I say when you manipulate financial statements, that fraud is basically, I hope realize, in the financial statements, which is very difficult to find because it is concealed. Whereas employees, etc., they will not conceal. They will do theft, etc., which once later or sooner, it will come into picture. It will come to light. But I hope is when you talk about financial statements, you have to dig in too much to find that fraud. So out of higher and lower level, which is more difficult to detect? Correct. So I'll make a statement, see if you understand. The risk of not detecting a material misstatement is higher in case of management fraud than compared to employee fraud. Repeating again. What? The risk of not detecting a material misstatement is higher in case of management fraud as compared to employee fraud. All cool? All cool. Okay, come on, textbook. SA 240, auditor's responsibility. What is it? Have a look. As per SA 240, the primary responsibility of prevention and detection of fraud rests with both TCWG and management, which I told you in the beginning only. Hmm. Auditor is only concerned or responsible for obtaining reasonable assurance that the financial statements taken are nothing but free from material misstatement. So you just have to obtain reasonable assurance. Should he obtain absolute assurance? Not possible. Owing to the inherent limitations of audit, basically I hyperize fact. Okay. There is an unavoidable risk that material misstatements, some of them will not be detected because anyways he is going to do sampling. Even though audit is properly planned and performed. Some people are asking full form of TCWG. It's okay. Random, yeah. They are committing a fraud. Thereafter, see, risk of not detecting a material misstatement resulting from fraud obviously is higher than the risk of not detecting one from error because frauds can be concealed. Similarly, higher level is difficult to detect than lower level. Correct. See ahead also. The question whether the auditor has followed the basic principles governing an audit, BPGA. I can see what Andu Pandu cannot see. Okay. is determined by the adequacy of the procedures undertaken in circumstances and suitability of the auditor's report based on the result of these procedures. In other words, ultimately, when you people audit and when you give an auditor's report, that auditor's report, how it is, will actually show whether you actually followed the basic principles or not. Whether you followed, you stuck to them or not. That is the meaning of that. Acha. Thereafter, this part I want you to read carefully. See, what are they telling? The liability of the auditor for failure to detect fraud lies only when such failure is clearly due to not exercising reasonable care and skill. It means who was negligent? Auditor, exactly. Now, next part. See, however, if the auditor can prove with the help of his papers, that is documentation, that he has followed adequate procedures necessary to properly conduct an audit, he cannot be held responsible for the same. If, however, the same cannot be proved, then he will be held responsible. I hope you followed. Yeah. Hmm. So this is that is he is negligent. So liability for failure to detect fraud, correct. Only when failure clearly due to not exercising reasonable care and skill. However, if auditor can prove with his papers that he has followed adequate procedures necessary, then he cannot be held responsible. However, if the same cannot be proved, he would be held responsible. Read 2.7 again. Next point, 2.7. If you people appreciate, it's the same, yeah. So basically 2.7 is given why? So that if at all you have not understood in 2.6, you understand in 2.7. Can I say it's the same thing? Yeah, cancel. Not required. And see what is basically the last thing, this is bold. It is not that important that they are written in bold, but then let us see. Although the auditor may suspect or in rare circumstances identify that there is an occurrence of a fraud, auditor does not make legal determinations of whether the fraud has actually occurred. What do you mean by this? Supposing I may suspect sometimes, I may come to know that there is a fraud which is happening. I will not do some legal investigation. Hey, investigate whether actually fraud is there or not. That is not my job. My job is if there is a fraud, I will try to prevent it. If not, I will report it. I will not do legal determinations. Hey, check no fraud, fraud. Who did? Hey, check, come do investigation. There is a difference between auditing and investigation. Investigation is checking in depth. Who did? What happened? How did it occur? Why did it occur? Everything. Whereas auditing is not like that. Auditing is I will first see if there is a fraud. I will try to prevent. If not, I will report. Finished. I am not going to legally determine whether it was actually done or not, who has done, how it has been done. I hope you followed. Come on, yaar. Everybody tell her. Okay, come. Uh, give the heading. I think you have already given. You can copy. See, basically, now, first, there is a note on frauds and errors. Just check what is the uh, entire scope of the chapter. Then we have distinguish between window dressing, secret reserve. Then we have a note on misappropriation of assets, which is lower level fraud. Then we have note on something known as fraud risk factors. Then we have a question on circumstances indicating possibility of a fraud, question 5. And lastly, we have something like note on fraud reporting, which you already know. So there are 6 questions which are covered. Come on, finish it. Do it. Yeah. Certificate of practice is cancelled if at all there is a fraud and you are guilty. Yeah. Institute can forget certificate. They will cancel your membership only. Certificate of practice is what? You are CA plus COP, no? But I hope realize in case of huge level frauds which happen, an auditor getting involved, there is no CA only. Forget CA plus COP. They will remove your name from the register of members. Hmm. In fact, 5 months back, my name was removed from the register of members. Wait, not for a fraud. Wait, behave yourself. Behave yourself. Arey, let me talk, yeah. Why you make so judgment so early, yeah? You must have committed a fraud. Look at you. So rude, yeah. I was here carefully, huh? What I'm telling. I was unable to process my yearly membership fees. So ultimately, since my membership fees was not paid, they cancelled my membership. They're like, first give money. I was like, okay, whatever. And then later on, membership fees was paid and membership was restored. It is known as restoration of membership. It means I hope as even if it gets cancelled, you can still restore. They just want money, yeah. Give them money, they are happy. Exactly. How much it was? I think 4,000 something it was, yeah. I have the receipt, wait. Then GST also 18% they charged. I mean, they charge GST, yeah. I mean, you are an institute here. What the hell are you doing here? GST for you? Why are you taking so much? Government is taking money so much here. Yeah, they send an invoice for that, a tax invoice. Invoice worth rupees 4720, 4,000 rupees. Yeah, that is what it is. I told her it was 4,000. Yeah, they send a tax invoice. Yeah. See, you can see membership fees. Ella, not seen. Now seen. Now seen. 4,000 bucks and 18% GST it seems. Now you can see. Don't look at my phone here. You're more interested in which phone here? You're not interested in looking at that membership fee. You're so rude. Oh my god, yeah. Why are you like this, yeah? Like because of you only. You dare blame me, huh? I was very sure it is coming to me. Huh. Huh, per year 4,000. But if you have COP, then COP extra. Oh, page 166, sir. I will do that. This is page 166, then wait. No, all pages I'll have to change anyways, yeah. Point 1.1 is correct, no? You could have written that entire definition, no, which was there. This definition you had to write basically. This part. Can't you write? No. And then write, no? Certificate of membership fees, that is COP fees itself is 3,000 rupees. Practice, that membership fees is not that high. Membership fees is okay. For an associate member, it is 1,500 if you are not holding a COP. Yeah, if you are holding a COP, then together it is with GST 5,310. 1,500 for membership and 3,000 rupees for COP. GST 810 rupees. So total 5,310. That is how it is. You don't know what is associate membership, fellow membership? Associate member and fellow member is what? See, once you become a chartered accountant, there are two things. If you are practicing, and if you are practicing for 5 years or more, okay, 5 or more years, then you get enrolled as fellow member. Fellow means I hope is experienced member of the institute. If you are practicing but less than 5 years, or if you are not practicing, repeating two situations. If you are not practicing, or if you are practicing but for less than 5 years, then you are known as an associate member of the institute. So that associate member is basically known as ACA, whereas the fellow member can use the letters FCA. Both of them are CA only. A stands for associate, F stands for fellow. Fellow is nothing but anybody who has been in practice for minimalistic period of 5 years. But for that also you will have to pay. You'll have to pay fees to enroll as a fellow member, and for fellow member then the fees is different. Exactly. FCA रे FCP नहीं, ACA, FCA. Fellow membership तो it is double. Fellow members membership fees is 3,000. Certificate of practice fees is 4,000 rupees. So the total is 8260 including GST. And the associate member was 5310. So 3,000 rupees difference. Actually, I have become a fellow member, but I have not enrolled yet. Still ACA is going on. FCA I have not enrolled yet. And for that one letter, yaar, F, I will have to pay 3,000 bucks more. क्यों समझती यार तू इतना? दिमाग ही वैसा ना तेरा. Benefits of FCA is that sometimes client prefer FCAs more compared to ACAs. Clients feel that FCAs are comparatively more experienced, no, because they are in practice for at least 5 years. So clients tend to go to FCAs more compared to ACAs. ACAs basically get clients initially on their references rather than their skill and competence. Whereas FCAs now get the clients on their skills and competence because of their experience being an FCA. This manipulation of financial statements, you can also wait. Instead of goods and cash, you can just write assets also. One word is better. Acha. Here I hyperlize other words. What we can write is fraudulent financial reporting slash manipulation of FS. Clients, though, to get money from them is a pain. They always remain in the books of accounts as debtors. They are receivables only. Hardly those receivables turn into receipts. There is too much of receivable management that we have to do. You have learned, no, in FM receivables management. Get money. In fact, it is painful, especially after this has happened now, COVID. They are though like they have got a huge excuse here for not giving money. Arey sir, COVID time, sir, business stuck so much, sir. How will give money, sir? Arey bloody, for every thing you have money to incur. For paying auditor, you don't have money. To get money from the clients is painful process, very painful. They will come someday only because ultimately their audit report has to get ready, no, sometime, and they will come. But then till that point of time, they'll never give you money. That is what I'm trying to tell. They're irritating. Dania. Okay. This extra question you don't copy, which is there upstairs. To do this part. Distinguish between window dressing, secret reserve. Oh, it is almost 8 o'clock. Oh, not bad. Nice. और ऊपर क्यों रे? This you don't have to copy extra thing. This extra question don't copy. This much you have not done still. Why? Yeah, you're relaxing. You're in relaxed mode. Yeah. After this, what do you have? Yeah. Costing. Logics will come. I like costing. Oh no, I really don't like costing. For me, the toughest subject at final CA was costing. Toughest. At final C also we had IT, 100 marks. Imagine even having IT, still I felt costing was toughest. Imagine what level of costing it might be. How much I got in costing? 46. I remember that for a reason. That paper was so difficult. No? When I got the costing paper in the final CA costing uh, question paper, then that paper, when I was just going through, I was just wondering, bloody, what do I know out of this? It was that difficult a paper. You will not believe, I'm not kidding. I was looking at people here and there and asking them, costing, costing. I was confirming whether the subject is costing or not. It is because looking at that paper, nobody felt it's a costing paper. It was that difficult. The first 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the only thing that I had in my hands were sweat, not even pen. I could not write. I was just sweating. Tuku, 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 tuku. It was very difficult, yeah. In fact, at that point of time when we had costing, na, costing was divided into two parts: costing and OR. OR, organizational research. It is like statistics. It was very fun to solve. That was for 30 marks. So ultimately, there were chapters like transportation, assignment. Very, 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 very must. I used to love it. I used to practice it so much. I was like, "Arey, ask 30 marks, 30 on 30. Not a problem. Ask." They asked, but they did not ask one practical question. They asked all theory. Now imagine, bloody, your only lifeline in the paper was those 30, where you are looking, you can score, and that lifeline only is now taken away. So now you are wondering what you know in the paper. So you know what I did? Whatever we people, like I solved it practically. I converted into words and I wrote theory. What else can you do? What option do you have in exam then? You have to write something or the other, right? And you know why I remember 46? I'll tell you a reason. Most of the subjects I don't remember exact marks, but few subjects I remember exactly what I got. Like direct tax, I told you I got 40. Because obviously 40 is 40 now. It's like the borderline, right? Acha, 46 why I remember. I came back after the examination, and normally professors tell, right? Are don't evaluate your paper, how much you will get. It leads to a decrease in your confidence level. Don't self-evaluate how much you will get after the paper. I don't believe in all that. I did. So I took the paper and I started self-evaluating for a particular question. How much will I get? Obviously, you try to be as conservative as possible. Even if an entire answer is wrong, are right, then also you people give lesser marks. So if it is like 8 marks, you may allot say 4 or max 5. You may never allot 6 or 7 or 8. So you be conservative, right, as much as possible. Conservatism is known in that particular scenario. What do you mean by conservatism? So then I applied conservatism because anyways that paper was so bad. One question also was not fully over. So I was like, I have to apply conservatism. And then I expected to get 46. And then I got 46. That's why I remember that I got 46. Else I won't remember that. It was so bullseye. 46. No, yeah, things happen here. All these things happen to me only. I don't know how. 40 people helping me. They fail, I pass. Things like that one. There's no elective paper for our time here. What the hell? No, no. For us, it is like, thanks for coming. 8 papers, 800 marks, no options also. There's no options for us. It means it was a 100-mark paper. Sometimes it is options now. Like in this auditing also, I'll give you the paper pattern towards the end of the subject. How is the paper pattern? Question one is compulsory. After that, you will be asked, say, like 6 questions, out of which you have to answer any 5. So you have an option. One option is there, right? For us, there is no option. Question paper means 100 marks. You miss any question, gone. Marks are gone. So, for us, what was the line? All questions are compulsory. So rude. So rude. They have all problems. I'm telling you. Let it go. At the end, at least I cleared somehow or the other. And 40, 46. I don't care, man. Till the time that you see pass and pass, more than I pay. Hey, come on, yaar, done, yaar. Acha, wait. Come on, faster now. Enough. Enough is enough. No, that somebody wanted the screenshot here. He lost network, it seems. No problems, man. Come on here, everybody till here. Okay, listen. Now, when you people talk about lower level frauds, if you have a look, there is defalcation of cash, theft of stock, teaming and lading. Let us discuss about them, okay? Because we have already majorly discussed about window dressing, secret reserve. Let us discuss about those three. When you talk about defalcation of cash, I mean, what is to discuss here? Can I say it is basically nothing but I hope realize cash taken away, correct, by nothing but the employees or the staff. When you talk about theft of stock, can I say this is misappropriation of goods? So ultimately, I hope, if at all, say the internal control with respect to stock is poor. You don't have basically, I hope, CCTV cameras inside or outside. Or ultimately, you have given too much authority to that particular person who is handling the stock, who is safeguarding the asset. Then obviously some correct stock or assets can be taken away by that particular person, which is known as theft of stock. Teaming and lading. Now, this is important. Hear carefully. In fact, there is more to defalcation of cash, which I will tell you shortly. But first, let me answer teaming and lading. Listen, what do you mean by teaming and lading? It is misappropriation of cash received from the debtors of the company by the cashier. Repeating, misappropriation of cash received from the debtors, misappropriated by the cashier. Supposing, example, listen. Say, supposing here he is a cashier. Okay, so he's obviously a part of the company. Now, say there are debtors of the company. These are customers. Debtors. Now, when I say debtors, can I say they own money? Correct. So they have to pay to the company. Now, say he owes some money. So, say this first debtor, he pays to the cashier. So, can I say obviously the cashier received the money? So, obviously that money should be credited to his account, no? This particular customer. So obviously this is the debtor. Then obviously in the debtor's account, you should credit that money, na? Cash bank account debit to debtor. So debtor's account obviously should be here, no, by cash bank. So you should credit that money, no? But say this money, this cash, which was received by this cashier, say he defalcated that. He did theft of that. Now obviously if he has done theft, can he write that cash bank received? No. So ultimately I hope realize no cash bank. So ultimately can I say his account is still showing outstanding balance? This is the first debtor I am talking about. 1, 2, and 3 debtors I am taking example. Acha. Now what will happen? Second debtor. Can I say he also owes money? Say he also pays to the cashier cash. Now, obviously, this second debtor's account will be showing outstanding, but he has paid money. So it should be credited here by cash bank, but it will not be credited here. This cash bank will be credited in the first debtor's account by cash bank. Why? There is a reason. See, if you don't write cash bank in the first debtor's account, can I say his account will show outstanding? Now, say there is management. Management also will have eyes, no? When management will look at this debtor's account, they will see what? Array, this debtor's account is outstanding for a very long time. Yeah, I think we have to call this debtor. Then, if the management call the debtor number 1, and tell to the debtor, batao, why have you not paid the money? Debtor will tell to the management, you dash, I paid your cashier. I have a receipt also. Go, get lost. It means, can I say this debtor has already paid cash? Now management is asking the debtor, why have you not paid cash? Because our account is showing outstanding. So can I say then, obviously, the cashier will get caught, no? So management will catch the cashier. So cashier is very smart. What did the cashier do? He does not want to keep the account outstanding for a long time. So what did he do? The money received from the second debtor, he credited to the first debtor's account. So this account is now nullified. Now say third debtor gives cash. So what will happen? Correct. The third debtor's money which is received will not be credited here. It will be credited to the second debtor's account. So his account is now not outstanding. You are following what is happening? This type of a fraud which happens is known as teaming and leading. But eventually I hope realize he had done theft of cash now. This type of fraud which happens is known as steaming and leading. So what is steaming and leading? Can I say it is misappropriation of cash received from the debtors, misappropriated by the cashier? The amounts which are received from the subsequent debtors are credited to the earlier debtor's account so that that debtor's account does not show an outstanding balance for a long time, because if it shows an outstanding balance for a long time, the management will definitely call up the debtor and ask to the debtor, and if the debtor tells the money has already been paid, cashier will be caught. Now do you understand? By the way, in real life, can the cashier be caught? Yes. I hope there's definitely a call is possible. Definitely ICS is also there. No. So ICS can also catch hold of the cashier. No, yeah. All cool? Doubt. Think and answer. Huh? Hear carefully what I'm telling. Teaming and leading is two options I'm giving to you. One, inflating cash payments or suppressing cash receipts. You understand the difference basically? I am asking what is teaming and leading. Teaming and leading is inflating cash payments or suppressing cash receipts. You are showing more payments or you are showing less receipts. Correct. Can I say the second part? You are showing less receipts. Suppressing means what? Reducing. See, you did not show this, no? So are you showing the receipt? No. Are you suppressing that receipt? Yes. This is asked in the exam for 2 marks, true or false. Correct, incorrect. Teaming and leading is an example of inflating cash payments. False. It is an example of suppressing cash receipts. All cools? All cools. Now, firstly, what I want you all to do is have a look here. See, don't write anything. Huh? I'll give you time. First, have a look. Write a note on misappropriation of assets. So you are talking about lower level fraud. Misappropriation of assets, two things are there. I hope guys either you will misappropriate the goods or you will do defalcation of cash. Goods is stock basically, so you take that away. That we will see from the textbook. Obviously, page number will be different. When you say defalcation of cash, then two things are there. Either you do that by inflating cash payments or you do that by suppressing cash receipts. Inflating cash payments, examples we will see. One example is payment against fictitious vouchers, which I will tell you, will understand. And second is suppressing cash receipts. What is one example of suppressing cash receipt? Correct, teaming and leading. All cool? All cool. Come to the textbook. We'll do this last part and then take the break and then the rest of the part which is pending. See, I want you to come to here, misappropriation of assets. This is which page number? 169 then, as per some reliable sources. Now, when I say misappropriation of assets, obviously you are talking about lower level frauds. In that, there are two things: misappropriation of goods and defalcation of cash. So, two things are there. Now, what I want you all to do is read this misappropriation of goods. Read the para, this entire para. Come on here. Can I say very manageable? Okay. Thereafter, defalcation of cash. I told you defalcation of cash includes two things. Either you can do that by inflating cash payments, that is increasing the cash payments, or by suppressing the cash receipts. Okay. Now, let us see inflating cash payments. It means you are increasing the cash payments. No. Acha, see, how can that happen? I'll give you one simple example. Supposing say, just an example, say I am incurring printing charges for JK Shah classes. Okay. So JK sir has told me, Rahul, no problem. You incur printing charges, give it to the students. Whatever money happens, you take it from me. I was like, okay, sir, no problem. So I incur printing charges, and say those printing charges are 8,000 rupees. Okay. But 8,000 in reality. But say ultimately I make a bill of 10,000. So eventually against this voucher, can I say I will get paid 10,000? But in reality, it is only 8,000. So 2,000 will go in my pocket. So can I say this is inflating cash payments? So ultimately, I hope as I inflated the payment from the company and I defalcated that 2,000 rupees. Are you following? So that is nothing but an example of inflating cash payments. Acha, it may also so happen that ultimately I may tell that ultimately I have incurred printing as I may have a fake voucher, fake bill. Then ultimately I may give that fake bill only, no? And then money will come. I'll put the entire money in my pocket. So ultimately there are two possibilities. One, either the voucher itself is fake, or the voucher is there, but you have inflated the money in that voucher. You understand what I'm telling? Okay. Now see, have a look. Inflating cash payments, firstly, making payments against fictitious vouchers, fictitious fake vouchers. This is what I was talking about, the second example that I gave. Now some people are asking me, you have done this so rude, yeah. I'm not that cheap. Yeah. And it was not that meaningful. I mean, yeah, I'm that professional, yeah, so rude. Achha, thereafter, see, making payments against vouchers, the amounts whereof are inflated. I hope this was my first example, 8,000, but I made it 10,000, like that. Achha, thereafter, see, manipulating totals of wage rolls, either by including them names which are of dummy workers or inflating them in any other manner. You understand? Dummy workers, fake workers, they are not working for me, but I may show, see, I may tell, now we people also have one more employee here who is working, he is handling nothing but credit sales. Is it okay, sir? Yes, yes, no problem. How much salary, Rahul? 10,000. Okay, sir. Okay. Now ultimately that worker is actually not there. He's a dummy worker. I just told to the management there is there. So ultimately on paper he is there, but that money I am only taking. Or sometimes I hope as you may inflate the wage roll, no? Sometimes I hope as if you are the one who is authorized to make the payment, you may tell, Arey, that Rahul has to be paid 15,000, but actual salary may be only 12,000. Then ultimately 3,000, ultimately you took extra from us, no? So that is the meaning. Okay. So including what? Dummy workers or by inflating them in any other manner. Acha. Last is casting a larger totals of petty cash expenditure. Other things you cancel. Other things are not required. Full stop there. Acha, what I mean by casting a larger total of petty cash expense? Are so simple, yeah. Supposing say ultimately, sir has a meeting. Now I'm giving you all examples. Okay, I'm going to very low level now. Now ultimately, I hope I say ultimately there is a meeting of JK sir and all the delegates. Okay, they are doing the meeting. They're like, Rahul, bring some food. I was like, okay, no problem. I'll get some food for you. Okay, no problem. Food for thought. Like, okay, I went. I brought some food out of petty cash expense. Say the expense that I did was 1,500. But then I told, you're eating food now, that food is costing you 3,000 rupees. Give me 3,000 bucks. So ultimately 1,500, but I'm taking 3,000. Why? Because I'm making a petty cash expenditure of 3,000 now, but actually the expense is only 1,500. So ultimately, can I say it is very similar to the second example which is here, but I hope here it is only for petty cash expense. So sometimes it happens, no yaar, chai pani, tea, coffee. Ultimately, I hope that the peon may go. I hope that peon get tea. Sometimes when he comes and asks money, he asked me 100 rupees. I was like, where did you get the tea from? Taj Mahal? Bloody, I asked for a tea. What are you telling? 100 rupees? So he may cast a larger total than it is actually. Then he may tell, Arey, sir, we also entire staff had. I was like, okay, whatever, go. So ultimately, even if it may not be that case, still you are paying. Why? Because there is a larger total of petty cash expense. Now, do you understand? Okay. Thereafter, we have suppressing cash receipts, that is decreasing the cash receipts. First is teaming and leading. Mark this important. Come on, read it. This comes in the examination for 2 to 4 marks. 2 marks as correct, incorrect, that I already told to you. 4 marks short note. Read. Only till here, huh? Teaming and leading is only till here. The others are second example. Come on here. Can I say very manageable? Okay. So basically, it is nothing but money received from subsequent was credited to earlier so that it does not show an outstanding for a long time. Else, management may call him and ultimately communicate. Then there is a problem. Cashier will be caught. So underline amount received from a customer being misappropriated. Hmm. Also basically done to prevent its detection that the money received from another customer subsequently being credited to the account of the customer who has paid earlier. Similarly, money received from the customer who has paid thereafter is credited to the account of the second customer, and such practice is continued. So that this is important. So that what then? So that no one account shows outstanding balance for a long time, which may lead the management to send out a statement to him means whom? Customer, or communicate with him. Him is the customer who has already paid. Customer who has already paid. Then yeah. Hey, can I say simple chapter? Yeah, very manageable. Okay. Second example, have a look. Adjusting unauthorized or fictitious rebates, allowances, discounts, etc. to the customer's account and misappropriating amount paid by them. You understand the meaning? See, it is like this. Wait. Supposing say I'm the salesman of the company. Okay. Now, selling price is 100 rupees. So I have to sell for 100. Now, I am looking for customers. Say you are my customer. I sell to you for 100 only. So how much I got? I got 100. So obviously I have to report to the company, no, that I got 100. But you know what I will tell to the company? No, sir, we had to give discount of 80. Company had told in worst situation, give a discount. If that customer does not take the goods for 100, give a discount 20%. No problem, maximum. So I was like, okay. But actually, I did not give a discount to you. You gave me full 100. But what did I tell to the company? Company, I gave a discount of 20%. Huh? So ultimately, to the company, how much will I pay? 80. How much did you get? 100. How much is in your pocket? 20. That is a way to commit a fraud. So I hope realize, I hope realize you are adjusting unauthorized now, because ultimately I hope realize you were giving 20, which you had to give, but you actually have not given 20. Now do you understand? Okay. Last one, have a look. That also is simple. Writing of debts in respect of such balances, balances means debtors, against which cash has already been received but misappropriated. See, this is what. Supposing say there is a customer, a debtor of the company. Okay. For many number of years, he has not paid money. Now suddenly there is morality which has come into him. So he is like, okay, now I have to pay the money. So say now he paid cash to the cashier. Okay. Now cash is received. Say I took that cash. Now that debtor had not paid money for a long time. So now ultimately I put that as bad debt. He is not going to pay us money. Finished. Wait, is he bad debt? No, he has paid money. But I hope realize I actually charged that money received as bad debt. And ultimately told to the management, bad debt, money is not getting received from that customer. He is not going to give you because for many number of years it is outstanding. So sorry, he is not going to give you money. PNL account debit. So PNL debit, but actually money is with you. So ultimately you are writing off the debtors as bad, even though they have paid you money, and that money you are defalcating. Now do you understand? Acha, do things like these happen? They happen. They happen nothing but in companies. That's why I'm telling you now, big to big, small to small. Every company will have some frauds or the other. So ultimately, I hope a low level basically are busy in this work only. Come on, underline. Adjusting unauthorized, fictitious discounts to customers' account and misappropriating amount paid by them. That's so rude. You received 100, you should give 100, no? By giving 80 only. Hmm. Thereafter, writing of debts in respect of such balances. Balances are basically debtors against which cash received but misappropriated. So I took the cash. Thanks for coming. Now, which is your page number for this? Yeah, this lower level frauds. 169. Acha. And this that you already told. This defalcation of cash is on the same page number 169. This entire thing, whatever we have marked, is on 169. Everything. Okay, fair enough. So cool, yeah. Wait. See. Now write a note on misappropriation of assets, low level fraud, misappropriation of assets. Two things are there. Misappropriation of goods, which is page 169 then. 0.5. Copy the chart, finish it. 169, 169. Dania, देता हूँ देता हूँ बोला यार, पहले ही बोला तभी बोला मैं तेरे को। सब मारने का मन करता है ना कभी कभी। फ्रंट ऑफ में इट वाज दिखाया, देख कुछ खाना है, देख हाय बोल, हाय बोल, देख 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 देख, ऐसा नहीं कि ऑफर करे। हाय यशवी, I was a student of JKSC. Oh yeah, yeah, for all my three levels. At CPT, which I actually did not enroll for CPT. I enrolled for PE1, Professional Education 1. Basically, the courses have taken many turns here. I hope as it was initially foundation, inter, and final when it started, like CA course when it started. Okay, thereafter it became PE1, PE2, and final CA, which is Professional Education 1, Professional Education 2, and final CA. Final CA has always been final CA. There is no change. So ultimately, I enrolled for that PE. Okay, and thereafter that PE1 became CPT. So for us, then PE1 was cancelled and we were enrolled to CPT. Then PE2 became PCC, Professional Competence Course, which is Inter CA now. And final was final. Then CPT. Then PCC became IPCC, Integrated Professional Competence Course. And then final is final. Then IPCC again became Inter CA. And CPT again became foundation. When it is life is a circle. Life is a when you wanted to keep them only. Why did you do so much of trial and error? Were you finding IRR? No, no. Then why were you doing so much trial and error? But they tried everything: CPT, PE1, PE2, this, that, and eventually came to that only: foundation, inter, and final. But the only thing that I like is about final CA. Final CA is strong. Does not happen anything. Final is final, bloody. But final is simple to compared to inter CA. I somehow feel that. In fact, many of the chartered will feel that. You ask them. Final CA is comparatively simpler to inter. Why? Because I hope that there just the portion is big. It is not difficult. See here, why do you find it difficult comparatively? For two reasons. One, it is big. Inter CA is also big. Secondly, you are encountering subjects for the first time. You are coming across subjects like audit, tax, IDT, IT, FM costing for the first time. At final CA, they get repeated. So ultimately, I hope there is just extension of it. There is not new to it. So extension is simpler compared to first time. First times are always difficult, no, bit here and there. First time exams are always difficult, no, here and there. Arey, why are you like this? Yeah, why? Come on, go now. Acha, see what is remaining is we have fraud risk factors and circumstances relating to fraud and that fraud reporting. Solid, Thana Rishabh. I know. Huh. Shall we take breaks? Small breaks? 8:24. We take the break till after. Tell me how much. Yeah, you tell. I takes 8:40. Oh. I mean, there has to be some reasonable lesson life. Yeah, 8:40. It seems. Yeah. Okay. 8:37. 8:37. Weirdish. 40. 8:37. Come on, yeah, come back, yeah. Acha, see that teaming and leading 2 marks now. They ask you correct, incorrect question now. Whether it is inflating cash payment, suppressing cash receipt. That you write down as extra question. I forgot to give you that, yeah. This part, see. Teaming and leading is an example of inflating cash payments. Correct or incorrect? That is what is the question. So answer is incorrect. Okay, so then this is the answer. Teaming and leading is actually an example of suppressing cash receipts. There's no meaning to the words. It's just a phrase, teaming and leading. Yeah. It means basically what I already told to you. It is basically, I hope realize, defalcation of cash. Like window dressing is a name given to that fraud, right? Similarly, teaming and leading is a name given to that fraud. That is the meaning. Arey, the leading is not bill of lading, mad. Where you are connecting the dots, yeah. Ayyo, papa. Hey, Dania. Now, this comes in exam for 2 marks, huh? So you should get those 2 marks, okay? Yeah. Come on here, shall we go ahead? Okay. Next thing that we have is again an important one, which is fraud risk factors. Now, what do you mean by fraud risk factors? Have a look. Fraud risk factors are basically the factors which make you commit a fraud. Repeating, what are fraud risk factors? Fraud risk factors are the factors which make you commit a fraud. Means they are the factors which make you do something wrong. Okay. Now, what type of factors they are? Firstly, your fraud risk factors here are divided into 3 categories. Either it can be due to an incentive or a pressure, or it may be due to some opportunity, or it may be due to attitude or rationalization. Repeating, 3 factors are there, fraud risk factors. One, incentive or pressure. Second, opportunity. Third, attitude or rationalization. Let us understand. I'm giving you examples. Just think, okay, how can that happen? Now, listen. Supposing if I tell you that ultimately the managerial remuneration is linked to profit. So can I say the managers obviously will try to nothing but inflate the profit so that they get more remuneration, which I just told to you a while back. So can I say that is nothing but an incentive for them? So can I say they may try to commit a fraud? Okay, one more example. Say on the employee, there is financial pressure. Say for a simple example, I have to pay my house EMI, my car EMI, so much my. Now in that scenario, ultimately I hope realize I have too much financial pressure, too much burden. If I have burden and if I have access to the company's cash, I hope, see, you thought no. Ultimately, you may try to take that cash away because anyways you have that burden. Some people of you may think like that also. Even if we don't have burden, we would have taken. Obviously, that is you. But here I am talking about me. So ultimately, I hope I say, if at all I have nothing but that financial burden and you have access to cash, can I say definitely it's a pressure on you? You may commit a fraud. Okay. Apart from that, what if I tell you that the company has too much amounts of cash on hand? They have too much cash. Then they can exploit opportunities. I hope they can bribe. people. I hope realize you can take that cash and you can go to the competitor, bribe basically the people there, get the info or get the people from there, and you may try to commit a fraud. Why? Because you have too much of cash in hand. One more example. What if the company is in a position where they can dictate terms, monopolistic situation, and you have nothing to do? For a simple example, say for a simple example, healthcare which we have. Okay, now I hope realize you people definitely must have read the news that an ambulance charged so much amount of money for nothing but just this much amount of distance. You heard, right? Now what are they trying to do? They are trying to exploit the opportunity to make that money. It means I hyperlize a particular patient has to use that. Now I hyperlize, it means now normal if it is say 4,000 rupees, if you charge 20,000 for it, can I say you are exploiting the opportunity? It means you are in a monopolistic situation. You are in a situation where you can dictate your terms and the price that you are getting is not the fair value. You are taking more than that fair value. You are understanding what I'm telling? Okay. Apart from that, you can say attitude of the management only is wrong. For a simple example, management, they believe in doing frauds only. So when newcomer comes, no, newcomer, the management teach the newcomer frauds only. So ultimately, if you come to me, if I am the management, you are the newcomer. When you come to me, you are looking forward to working, all ethical and all like I'm professional, buddy. I do a meeting with you. Come sit down. Now we have to do frauds. Listen how we have to do frauds. You get a shock of your life. You are wondering, Arey bloody, I am here to work properly and you are teaching me unethical things. Now, if the management only teach you unethical things, can I say attitude is wrong? So obviously due to that attitude of the management, frauds may happen. Achha. Apart from that, you can also uh, say I am not treated rationally in the organization. I am ill treated in the organization. I am an employee who is suffering. I hope realize they have tortured me. So ultimately, I hope realize 6:30, they're torturing. I hope realize hardly we sleep at 4 and they are making us get up at 6 o'clock. They are torturing, I know. So ultimately, I hope realize I may try to commit some fraud, because they are harassing me. So ultimately, I hope realize now I'll have some fraud under my sleeve like this. See, why like that? Because I hope realize they are irrational in behavior. Since they are irrational in behavior, the employee who is ill-treated, I hope realize may try to commit a fraud. You are understanding what I'm telling? Hey, it was nice, yeah. I know, right? No, so rude, yeah. Wait, how many are there? Three fraud risk factors. One, incentive or pressure. Second, opportunity. Third, attitude or rationalization. Huh. Exactly, it was so nice. Huh. Now, incentive pressure. Give me example. Correct. Can I say managerial remuneration linked to profit? One more. Employee has financial pressure and he has access to cash. So he has to pay EMI but has no money. You have money, no? So ultimately, apart from that, I hope realize. See, it may also be a situation where say there is a too much competition in the market. If market has too much competition, there is pressure to perform well. No, so in that pressure, you may try to commit something wrong. For a simple example, say ultimately Samsung and Apple, there is a competition, fierce competition in the market amongst them. So one always tries to infringe the patent of the other. So ultimately, they are always trying to a theft of know-how from others, that ultimately once we know the know-how from other, then ultimately we can go ahead. So ultimately they're trying to do that. Why? Because there is too much fierce pressure. You understand what I'm telling? Acha. Opportunity, as I already told to you, you may basically exploit the opportunity if you have too much cash in hand. Apart from that, if at all there is a monopolistic situation or you are in a position to dictate your terms where you may not enter into transactions at proper value, you may charge a higher rate. Just as I gave you an example of nothing but say that ambulance charges basically, because there's no other option. See, if there was other option, then I hope I would have still got a better deal. But if there is no other option, you are trying to dictate your terms. Then you are trying to take advantage of that opportunity. Is what I'm trying to tell. Exploit the opportunity. Then attitude or rationalization. Management's attitude is only very, very, very bad. I hope as they are trying to teach the newcomers nothing but frauds. So that attitude itself is wrong. So that is not going to work. It will make them commit more fraud. Uh, Apart from that, I hope the employee is ill treated at nothing but the workplace. So ultimately, since the employee is ill treated, I hope realize he may try to nothing but commit some fraud. I will also keep this point in mind because it will help me. Exactly, you know. Yeah. What if also one more? Say management has past record of committing frauds only. So the attitude of the management was bad. Now, so obviously, if they have past track record, they are going to continue that only, like that. Now, do you understand? So, fraud risk factors. What do you mean by that? Factors which make you commit a fraud. Reasons which make you commit a fraud. Which reasons? Incentive, pressure, opportunity, attitude, and rationalization. All goals. All goals. Acha. You may also say reasons. Basically, the reason why you make commit a fraud. Okay. I want you to come to the textbook first. First, let us do the markings. No, then we'll come and we'll copy that chart. Page number 170 as per some reliable sources. Oh, all of them are on page 170. So nicely they have given for you here. Why for me they have given like this here to me? Employees are ill-treated. They may try to commit fraud. And voice is nice. Nice, no, it is. I know, right? So cool. Should have been underlined now. Huh. Market. Market. Some are like, sue them. I know, right? ऋषभ ऐसा सोचना, तू सू करेगा तो उसको क्या बोलेंगे जो सू करता है? सुअर. अच्छा था यार. You are so rude, yeah. It was nice, yeah. Let it go, yeah. You don't have that sense of humor, yeah. Vaina, the one who's so sore. Have a look. Law, you didn't learn that. The one who sues is suer. Have a look. Fraud risk factors are defined as events or conditions that indicate an incentive or a pressure to commit fraud or provide an opportunity to commit fraud. Now, for this, the risk factors are further classified based on three conditions generally present when a misstatement happens. So, three conditions. They are classified into three parts, as simple as that. One, incentive or pressure. Second, an opportunity, which you will know. And lastly, attitude. अच्छा था यार, इतना क्या शौक. And lastly, attitude or rationalization. Okay. As far as incentives are concerned, high degree of competition or market saturation accompanied by declining margins. You are keeping on losing nothing but I hope raise the profit is keeping on falling, so there's pressure on you to work properly, make profits. Since there's too much pressure, you may try to commit a fraud. High vulnerability to rapid changes such as changes in technology, product obsolescence, or interest rates. Basically something like Nokia was never able to live to its expectations of smartphones. So ultimately I hope realize in that situation Nokia may try to commit a fraud by nothing but doing some patent infringement or basically theft of know-how, like that. Next, marginal remuneration linked with profit. This is the biggest problem. Rishabh, kabhi kabhi. Next, personal financial obligation may create pressure on the employees with access to cash. See, obviously I should have access to cash. Hello, if I just have EMI I have to pay, but I don't have access to the cash of the company, how can I commit a fraud? I can commit a fraud only if I have access to some assets. No, exactly. Okay, so that was incentive and pressure. Opportunity, strong financial presence of the company or ability to dominate a certain industry sector that allows entity to dictate terms or conditions to suppliers or customers that may result in inappropriate or non-arm's length transaction. Now, arm's length transaction, you already know, huh? We have done in company audit. Business relationship, arm's length. What is arm's length? Fair value. Correct. So what is non-arm's length? Not at fair value. Correct. I hope that is charging 20,000 by that ambulance for this much amount of distance was not fair value. So that was non-arm's length. but they are dictating terms. Why? Because ultimately I hope realize you are in a situation where everybody has to, the ones who are the sufferers, they have to use it. So ultimately they, yeah, large amounts of cash in hand and weak internal controls. See, this is what, this is something like, if the company has a weak internal control, I may try to commit a fraud, no, because they have a weak internal control. For a simple example, I hope as if I come to know there is no CCTV in the godown, there is no storekeeper, I just have to get into and then I'll get out taking the stock. So ultimately I hope as I already know, so I will try to take that opportunity, no. So ultimately I know nobody's there, nobody's there, I will go and I'll go and commit a fraud like that. How you are picturing me, no, going in that particular go down, taking away the goods like that? Why you are picturing me in that? Yeah, I'm just giving an example. Yeah, can't you picture yourself? Huh? You have to done that also in the past, right? Oh no. Okay. Attitude or rationalization. Have a look. Now, known history of violations. Oh, ho, 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 of securities laws or other laws and regulations. Means you are the known for it. Then obviously your attitude is only like that. You are going to commit a fraud. Some things don't change, do they? You dare look at me, huh? Look at the answer, buddy. Look in your textbooks. Hmm. Kavya. Hmm. Next, management communicating. This is best. Management communicating unethical values to employees. Employee, do fraud. I mean, you are telling them only to do fraud. That's so cool. Firstly, I was like, doing fraud, like, yeah, I was a bit afraid. Now, you're only, thanks, yeah. Next, behavior indicating displeasure or dissatisfaction with the entity or treatment of its employee. They are not treating me properly. Like that, same. Exactly, that voice. Six ton, no slave. How? Hmm? Like that. So ultimately, I may try to commit a fraud. So basically, your fraud risk factors, they're so simple, yeah. They're so cool. Fraud risk factors. Three, incentive, correct, or pressure. Next, opportunity, attitude, and rationalization. All cools? All cools. Come on. Copies. Page 170, right? 6.3, etc. All that is same, right? Okay. Show 0.61. 6 is which one, yeah? Okay, this one. These are basically reasons or factors or conditions which make you commit a fraud. Which make you commit a fraud. क्यों इतना हंस रही है? बात क्या है? क्या बात है? Oops, oops, oops. Yeah, this you have already done. Sorry, this one. Samalite, let's play Antakshari. Yeah, last 10 minutes it seems. Yeah, I'll unmute everybody. Yeah, and we'll sing. Yeah, what's it? No, 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 no. We'll sing that. You can say Apadi Pode also. Apadi Pode, 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 Pode. That is nice song. Yeah, it has beat to it. Yeah, I like the beat to it. It goes like that. high pitch. Yeah, it's nice. You come here to sing songs. You come here to commit frauds. You come here to do acting. When will you learn, yeah? They're like, this is only learning, yeah? A truer. So cool. Now finish. Huh. That song, the music only starts in a very fancy manner. Yeah, that tingling song, tingling voice. I know. That's nice. Today, Mukilan outside is there. In fact, in Mumbai yesterday there was red alert for rains. Yeah. In fact, yesterday after your lecture, I lost connection twice in the other lecture due to nothing but heavy rains. Yeah. Mukilan is very heavy. The clouds are very heavy outside, all black and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Dania. Oh. Okay, come on. Last thing that we have, which we have to learn, is this part. Mention the circumstances indicating possibility of a fraud. Now, please don't get confused, huh? Between nothing but definitely, yeah. Between nothing but question number 4 and question number 5. Don't get confused. When I say fraud risk factors, those are the factors which make you commit a fraud. When I say mention the circumstances indicating possibility of a fraud, what does this mean? It means that looking at something, I may think that it may be a fraud. See, now I'm looking at you. See, I may think that you may be a fraud. See, then that indicates a possibility of a fraud like that. So ultimately, looking at a certain event, looking at a certain condition, if you people feel that it may be a fraud, so that is a circumstance indicating possibility of a fraud. Don't get confused now, please. Both of them are absolutely different. That is reasons which may give you to commit a fraud. This is circumstances which indicate possibility of a fraud. I am not telling it is a fraud. It may be a fraud. Let us take examples to understand here. Listen. Uh, Supposing ultimately there is a traveling expense in the PNL. So I asked to the management, batao, traveling expense, where are the supporting documents? Where is the evidence? Where is the tickets? Give no. Management is telling no, sir, we don't have. Wow. Now use common sense. It means there are no supporting evidences. What does it hint at? It hints that there is nothing but a trace of a fraud. 1 minute. Is it sure it is a fraud? No. Arey, yeah, just to not have a bill does not mean it is not incurred. No. For a simple example, I hope right. Sometimes when I incur petrol expenses, I don't take bill. But that does not mean I'm not incurring petrol expenses. I am. So basically, I hope you realize, yeah. So it indicates a possibility of a fraud. One more example. There is a voucher, but it is not authorized. Unauthorized vouchers. So it can be a fake voucher. It can be a voucher which is done by an unauthorized person to commit a fraud. So it is a possibility that it may be a fraud. Okay, one more. Some missing documents, some missing evidence. Oh, something is missing. It indicates a possibility of a fraud. I'm not telling it is. They may have lost it. So it is missing. Does that mean it is a fraud? No. But it indicates a possibility of a fraud. Oh, yeah. Acha, one more example. Uh, Too many alterations made, changes. Why are you keeping on changing the financial statements again and again? What are you trying to alter? You're trying to do fraud, no? See, it means ultimately, can I say, if there are too many changes, it indicates there may be a possibility of a fraud. I'm not telling it is a fraud. It may be due to because you are so dumb that you are making so many mistakes. So you are making so many changes. I'm not talking about your CV, but I'm just telling. So eventually, I hope realize there are chances that alterations many indicates fraud. Acha. Uh, what if I ask to the management, I want to talk to you. Management is telling no, I'm not interested. Just like most people are not for you. So ultimately, in that case, use common sense. If management tell no, that they don't want to communicate, it indicates a fraud. Achha, okay, management, I want to talk to that person who is there. I want information from that person. No, you're not allowed. Why? Yeah, you are his parent. Then why are you telling no? Yeah, let me talk. No, what is the problem in talking? They are not allowing me. See, why are they not allowing me access to people? Because there may be a chance that ultimately that person may tell me something which is not to be told. So ultimately there is an indication, possibility of a fraud. Or actually he may be a parent. Acha. Apart from that, ultimately, say I want IT records. IT, information technology, favorite subject after all. Now ultimately I want nothing but that IT records. I want electronic records. So I asked to the management, batao, give me your IT records. Give me nothing but this information I want. No, you will not get access to IT records. Acha. Why? Yeah? Hmm? Hmm? So they may be trying to commit a fraud. No. See, I'm not telling it will be, but can it be? Yes. Acha. There is a complex transaction, say something like mergers and acquisition, and they are not giving me information about it. It indicates there may be a fraud in that particular complex transaction. Or they are taking too much time to solve a particular query. I asked a doubt, management, I have a doubt, please solve no. Management is like, okay, I'll tell you in some time. See, so much time. We are waiting. There's no net problem. Hello, I was waiting. So ultimately now we are waiting. So there is a delayed response. For this delayed response, why are they taking so much time? Yeah, they are trying to do something on what I told. No, they may be trying to commit a fraud. See, so these are nothing but I hope circumstances which indicate possibility of a fraud. No, come on, tell me at least five. Look at you, look at you, huh? Shameless. Can't you tell five also out of the potential 10 to 15 that I told? Huh? A delayed response. Wow. Brilliant. You know why you told delayed response? LIFO. Exactly. Last in, first out to you dash. That is the only thing that we remember. Apart from that, thanks for coming. Can I say alterations, missing evidence, missing supporting evidence, not correct, not giving me access to records, not giving me access to people, stopping me from communicating to certain people, no information from them, or ultimately they are making too many alterations, or ultimately I hope realize they are not giving me information for complex transactions. They are not solving my doubts on a day-to-day basis, regular basis, like that. Huh. Is this okay? Huh. Have a look. Now, mention the circumstances indicating possibility of a fraud. These are the circumstances. Basically, that possibility of a fraud is divided into discrepancies in accounting records. What is discrepancy? Mismatch. What if I tell you that ultimately in balance sheet there is something else, in reality there is something else? They are doing last minute changes. They are discrepancy. They are doing something to the records. Conflicting or missing evidence. What do you mean by conflicting or missing evidence? Take one more example of conflicting. You tried to confirm 5 lakhs from the debtor, external confirmation. He confirmed 6 lakhs. Is it matching? No. Is it conflicting? Yes. Can I say it indicates there may be some fraud? Is it necessary? No. There may be some error also. There is a possibility that we have done some error of omission. We have not recorded something which he has recorded. But it indicates fraud? No. We just have to see possibility. We are not telling it is surety. So, conflicting or missing evidence, missing documents, problematic relationship between auditor and management. I hope realize their relationship is also not working out. So ultimately, I hope realize just like a gazillion relationships on earth, their relationship is also problematic. So ultimately, there is, I'm asking, give me access to people. Let me talk to them. Give me records. They're telling no, we cannot give you records. We cannot give you access. Keep it. We have problems amongst ourselves. So problems. Lastly, others. Changes in accounting estimates. Why are you changing so many accounting estimates? It's an estimate. Why are you changing? Huh? What are you trying to do? You're trying to manipulate the record? No. Huh? You're trying to commit a fraud? No. Huh? So, like that. Now, do you understand? Acha. Come to the textbook. See, circumstances relating to possibility of a fraud. This is important. Has come in the examination for 5 marks. That also not all. Hello. Not every has come. Single thing they ask for 5 marks. Especially this and this. First and second. This has been asked for 5. So simple, yeah. They are giving you marks like that, yeah. The only thing is you're not taking. You don't know how to take it. Huh. Acha. Thereafter, there is problematic, unusual relationships because that is how relationships are. And lastly, others. So we'll go one by one. Okay. Forget, why do you want my experience here? Uh, Do your work. No. Acha. Firstly, discrepancy in accounting records. What are the discrepancy in accounting records? Have a look. The transactions are not recorded in a complete or a timely manner, or are improperly recorded. Okay, with respect to amount, period, classification, or entity policy, they are doing something else. Why? It may indicate there is a fraud. Next, unsupported or unauthorized transactions. Balances means transactions only. Now, basically, I hope you realize unauthorized, I give you an example. In the voucher, there was no sign. So anybody is doing any transaction, then that is not allowed. It indicates there is a fraud. Last minute adjustments that significantly affects the financial statements. Why did you make the change at the last minute? You're trying to alter something, aren't you? Next, evidence of employees' access to systems and records inconsistent with that necessary to perform the authorized duty. You understand the meaning? See, I'll tell you. There is a watchman. Now, basically, that watchman's duty is security guard. So he's a security guard only. Now, say I want to know some information in nothing but some document which is lying in one of the files, in one of the places. So I want that file. Now, I told the security guard, do one thing, go there. I'm giving you 500 rupees, go there, get the file. So he's sitting down there and searching the file. Wait, his job is to do this? No. His job is to do security? Yes. But is he doing something else? Yes. Why? He's trying to do something wrong. He's trying to commit a fraud. Now read what is there. Now read 7.1.4. Now do you understand? It is inconsistent with his job. His job is to do security, but he's doing something else only. He has access to systems. How? I hope with examples you are understanding. Yeah. Without that, it is difficult to an extent. Lastly, tips or complaints to the auditor about the alleged fraud. In other words, whistleblowing. What do you think? I was really whistleblowing like that only? No, I'm showing you practical application of whistleblowing. So ultimately, can I say it is whistleblower? You understand a whistleblower, no? Or you're that naive? You don't know what is whistleblowing? Okay, I'll tell you. Arey, what? Yeah, you don't know whistleblower? Acha, acha. Something is happening wrong at JK Shah classes. I'm a part of JK Shah classes. Now auditor comes. Now, every time they give me 6:30 lecture, every time in the morning I get up and not possible, no sleep. They are trying to commit some fraud. Auditor, they are trying to commit fraud. You know what? I'm telling you. Listen. So I'm telling to the auditor something against my company. That is known as whistleblower. You are telling somebody nothing but against the company. Now do you understand? That is whistleblowing. Like that. Whistleblowing. Now do you understand? Enough. You don't have to blow so much now. Some people are not able to blow the whistle at all. You don't have to practice. Hello. Relax. Have a look. Next. This was your discrepancy in accounting records. Next. Conflicting or missing evidence. This also is important for 5 marks. Firstly, missing documents. Documents are only missing. Where did they go? Where did they go? Next. Documents that appear to have been altered. Conflicting. Changing. Why? Yeah, altering. Acha. Significant unexplained items or reconciliations. Why are you not able to explain? There's a proper explanation. What are you trying to do? So ultimately, when somebody is not able to explain to you, obviously it indicates that they have done something wrong, no? Next, unusual discrepancies between entities records and confirmation replies. This I just gave to you. Yeah, you wanted to confirm 5 lakhs, but you got 6 lakhs. So there is inconsistency, no? You understand what I'm telling? Lastly, missing or non-existent cancelled checks. Bas, just put a full stop there. In circumstances you don't require. See, actually, what is the other part? You sometimes have to give cancelled checks to somebody just for writing some information or to process an account. Many number of times you may have seen that cancelled checks are to be given. Now I hope realize that cancelled check has to come back to you, know, then. But what if it does not come back? It means there is a chance that ultimately that cancelled check may be used for some online fraud against you, against the company. So ultimately, if they don't come back to you, it indicates that ultimately there may be a fraud. Now do you understand? Okay. See, these two are really important. Huh? Discrepancy in accounting records and conflicting or missing evidence. They are not that difficult at all. Trust me, you read it 2-3 times, you will easily learn. Okay. Okay. Next, problematic or unusual relationships. I mean, what to tell now? Between the auditor and the management. I mean, I have told enough. See, denial of access to records, facilities, certain employees, customers, vendors, or others from whom audit evidence might be sought, obtained. Exactly. Examples will make you remember it more betterly. See, why do I do this? It is not that I love doing that. I mean, I like also, but then, yeah, basically it is for you to remember through examples. Apart from that, this chapter is not that simple to understand. I'm really telling it to you. You read the chapter on your own from the textbook, you'll feel like, what the hell are they talking about? See, if I give you example, 100 rupees salesman I was, 80 rupees, but ultimately 20 rupees in pocket. You're not trying to, see, that makes you remember to an extent. So try to remember it like that. It's okay. But through that words, you cannot act in the exam. If acting was there in the exam, I would have got AIR 1 throughout. Now listen. I know, right? That's why I didn't got a rank. Yeah. Acting was not there. Anyways, undue time pressure imposed by management to resolve complex issues. It is mergers and acquisition. I will take time to resolve. Why are you so on my head? Huh? What are you trying to do? You are trying to commit a fraud? No? Get out. Like that. Why you are not giving time to the complex issue? It takes time, but there is undue time pressure imposed on me. Next, unusual delays by entity in providing requested information. You remember this phase of mine? I'm waiting phase. So ultimately, I hope you realize, why are you making me wait? You're trying to do something, aren't you? Unwillingness to facilitate auditor access to key electronic files. Come on here, electronic files you already know. IIT. For testing through the use of computer assisted audit technique, CAAT. You don't need to know what are CAAT, just reference is there. It is in your IT. Next, denial of access to key IT operations, staff, including security, operations, system development personnel. This is only for IT. This is for all. There's a difference. Some may feel, what is the difference between first and fifth then? First and fifth is all records. Now, down is only IT operations. Unwillingness to address identified deficiencies in internal control on a timely basis. Now, I am the auditor. When I check the ICS, can I say I come across weaknesses? So I have to tell the weaknesses to them. Not only that, I have to give suggestions also. Benefits of evaluating ICS we had seen here. So I have to give suggestions. I told them suggestions. Now, update now. Why are they not updating? Because they actually want the fraud to be committed. See, why do you don't do some things for a very long time when you know that is good for you? Because you want the bad to happen. Oh, take out that book, yeah, Rahul Life Lessons. Write down. What? Why do you not do something good for a very long time when you know it is for good? Because you want the bad to happen. You have English skills or you are KG student? KG. Somo. You look like one also, yeah, Somo. He is giving me looks. How dare you? I just did. Acha, now have a look. So basically, I hope guys, if they don't, I mean, yeah, deficiencies are there, overcome, no, but they are not doing. Why? They want to do something bad. Now, do you understand? Okay. And the last one, which is others. Others are also simple, yeah, as such. Unwillingness by management to permit the auditor to meet privately with TCWG. I don't know why it is in others. It should have been in the problematic relationships only. But they have classified as others because something to you have to write in others, no? It's like the balancing figure, right? Give something, something. Thereafter, accounting policies that appear to be at variance with industry norms. What is variance? Difference. See, everybody is following SLM. You dash are following WDV. Why? We are different from others. Dash, you are different from others. You are trying to manipulate something. Dash. I'm not telling. Hello, again I repeat. I am not telling that it is a fraud. It may be genuine also. There may be a situation where ultimately their assets are used very heavily in the initial years. and then the asset may not be used that much. It means WDV. On the other hand, the other people, they may be using their assets equally throughout, though they are using SLM. So ultimately that depends on my use what to follow, no? Next. Frequent changes in accounting estimates. See, this I was telling, which do not appear to result from changed circumstances. See, what I am telling, supposing you require 5,000 in the coming month. So you made an estimate of 5,000 rupees provision, okay? No situation has changed. Nothing has changed. Suddenly you make 5,000, 50,000. Why? Why? If situation had changed, then if you make 5 to 50, acceptable. But suddenly you change. Why? It indicates there is something wrong. It indicates it may be a fraud, majorly due to manipulating the financial statements. Come on here. Okay. And the last one, tolerance of violations of entities code of conduct. It means you are violating only your code of conduct. I hope you realize it is like the attitude, no, which we had here. So ultimately it indicates definitely that there is a fraud. All cools. Okay. Now see. Discrepancies in accounting records, important, 5. Conflict or missing evidence, important, 5. Expected for 5 is this. Definitely not expected for any is others. That is though definitely not expected. But definitely the first 3 are very important. This is very simple here. Problematic relationships. It is basically, you know, how relationships are, right? You are not allowing me to have access to records, etc. All that. Like you don't check phone of the others. Like that is there in relationships and all. No weird relationships. No, I'm not been in one. No, never. No. Oh, lucky. Yeah. Why do you want to know about mine? Yeah. Why? Yeah. I teach you to come. I come here to teach audit. Okay. Yeah. Life lessons. Call me. Now listen. Last thing. Shut up. Yeah. Last thing that we have. Why have you become like this? Yeah. Like, yeah, you only. Last thing that we have is fraud reporting. Now, when I say fraud reporting, we already know fraud reporting. If you people remember, we have seen fraud reporting in chapter of company audit under section 143.12 and 143.11. 143.11 was CARO. It means the auditor basically has to report under CARO the nature and the amount of the fraud which has been reported or suspected. Secondly, in fraud reporting, if you remember, if the fraud amount is 1 crore or more, then you have to report to the CG in form ADT4. You have to basically on the letterhead of the auditor along with the signature of the auditor through a speed post, you have to address to the secretary, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, tell to the BOD or the audit committee as the case may be within a period of 2 days from the knowledge of the fraud, seeking their reply or observations in 45 days. Thereafter reporting to the CG in the next 15 days and inform ADT4. All cool? Same thing is here. Check. Fraud reporting. Same. Same. Clause. Same. Same. Can I say very manageable? Come on, yeah. Do one thing. Same as company audit, but mark it important. This comes in the examination for 5 marks. That I made you mark there also. Don't worry. It is not that there it is not important. Here it is important. Write down. Same as company audit. In company audit, just check now what page number was there for this fraud. Yeah. Duty to report on frauds. Wait, you want me to go to the page number? You tell me what is your page number. I'll tell you where it is. See, this one. This duty to report fraud to the central government. This part. This is what I want. 143.12. Page number 300. Please check as per some reliable sources. They are telling 300 is rights. Okay. So page 300 and that CARO is where one is 300 and this is where for you this part CARO fraud clause. This one clause 10 fraud. Where is that? So it is 300 and what here? 30 fraud 1 CR exactly 308 so 300 and 304 Are this car of fraud I want? Fraud clause. Only this clause. You have same book, same no. Then 308 then. Some people are not getting 308. Yeah. Why are they like that? Yeah. So 300 and 308. Okay. Come to the array. Yeah. Now in that textbook only I'll have to go somewhere now. Rahul. Yeah. So much tour we people have to take. Yeah. Because traveling has stopped. No. So this is the only traveling which is left now. Page to page. Chapter to chapter. Oh 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Write down pages. This is 300 and 301. 301 also it is there, no? Huh. 300 and 301. This you mark. And then for Caro, you write down same as company audit, page 308. But it is only till here, huh? What is same? This part is different. Audit procedure for Caro. This is for reading for you purpose. This part. This you have to read. Read now. Did I write like this? Read later. No, I'm not committing a fraud. Come on, read it. It's very simple. Yeah. Just for reading. You don't have to like. It does not come in the examination, but still you should just know. That's it. Can I say whatever is the fraud, etc., has to be disclosed? Not only that, can I say if at all there is too many frauds, the auditor may think whether he should continue the audit or not. Because if there are too many frauds and he's unable to detect, I hope it is risky for him, no? So ultimately, I hope it is better rather to do wrong audit, not to do that audit. So if you see many frauds which are there in an audit, if you want, you may then withdraw from the audit, leave the audit. I hope you followed. Okay. Thereafter, oh, there is nothing. Come to the beginning of the chapter. One thing you have to do on your own, which I'll tell you. Wait. Okay. Meaning and characteristics done. Done. Then higher level fraud, lower level fraud done. Done. Thereafter, auditor's responsibilities done. Done. Thereafter, see this manipulation of accounts which is there, no? I hope this is basically a window dressing secret reserve. See, it is done in order to avoid the income tax or other taxes. So basically that is secret reserve. Declaring a dividend when there are insufficient profits. So you are trying to show which is better. So that is window dressing. To withhold declaration of dividend when there is adequate profit. So that is secret reserve. For receiving higher remuneration when manager remuneration is payable by way of profits. So that is window dressing. So these are basically reasons of nothing but window dressing secret reserve only. Do you agree? Acha. Then how it is done? How do you do window dressing secret reserve? Overvaluing purchases, undervaluing, we have done, no? Same, see, inflating or suppressing purchase and expenses, inflating or suppressing sales, inflating or deflating value of inventory, failing to adjust outstanding liability or prepaid, charging capital expenditure to revenue or reverse. So in other words, you are trying to manipulate accounts only, no? Up down, up down, up down, up down. So in other words, can I say again, this is window dressing secret reserve only. So this entire thing which is basically there is window dressing secret reserve. One thing, homework. Management override of controls. What do you mean by overriding? Not following. Correct. Now, why will they not follow certain procedures which are laid down? Correct. To commit a fraud. Perfect. Exactly. So now read this. Not now. Homework. Don't you see now it is homework? I'll ask you tomorrow. The next lecture when we have. Yeah. See then misappropriation of assets low level done. Defalcation of cash done. Inflating cash payment done. Suppressing cash receipts done. Fraud risk factors. Oh, they are important. Huh? Fraud risk factors. Reasons which make you commit a fraud. Done. Any of them can come for 5 marks. Incentives for 5 marks. Opportunity for 5 marks. And then we have attitude or rationalization for 5 marks. Can I say very simple? Yeah. Then circumstances indicating possibility of a fraud done. Thereafter, fraud reporting we already have seen in nothing but I hope realize company audit. So CG done. Thereafter, Caro reporting done. At the end, if you are unable to continue, leave the audit engagement. Reply to everybody done. Oops. Can I say chapter is done? Someone like, how dare you take it till 9:30 yeah, today? That is not your standard operating procedure. I had to finish, yeah. I'm true to my job at least, yeah. Don't be like that, yeah. That's so rude, yeah. No. Go, get lost. Don't talk to me. Go away. I'll see you tomorrow, yeah. Have a nice day. Eat well. Yeah, I know, right? Show question 5 notes. Hey, now don't. Hey, you have not copied this, sir. This you have not copied. Possibility of a fraud. Array, copy this, yeah. Only then chapter will be finished, no? Which page numbers, yeah, it is? Possibility of a fraud. Just check, no? Many just left here without copying, yeah. Unfortunately. What is the page number of this, yeah? 170. Entire thing is on 170? No. Wait. This discrepancy is on 170? Okay. Acha, rest all are 171? Okay. Go, don't copy. I'll make you write next time. Go. That's better. With everybody, I'll make you write. Go. Yeah, yeah. Don't ruin your break. Go. It's okay. Get lost. No, no, don't copy. Don't copy. Don't copy. Don't copy. Go. No, next time. Next time. If for others also, yeah, it is there. No, yeah. Yeah, yeah. We'll do together. Go. Get lost. Bye, yeah.